Welcome back, everyone. Episode 28, we just discovered of the Largo podcast, late afternoon glass off. Thanks for joining us. Finley, we're back in the studio. What's the latest, mate?
We're back in the studio, mate. I couldn't be happier, to be honest. Couple online recordings, which have been, it's handy. It's a handy tool to have, but it's so much better when we're in person.
It really is.
But yeah, like one of which I think we'll be releasing it on Monday to be confirmed. Pretty exciting one though. If you'd been following our Instagram, you'd know potentially who we've got coming on, or had on. But yeah, that'll be getting probably released on Monday. But yeah, that was another online one. But yeah, great to be back in person. And we got a new little drink to run you through from Yuli's.
I was going to say, it's good to be back in person because you can't cheers someone through the Webiverse. And if you can hear this, it's just that mesmerising sound. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, sir.
Now, if you're in YouTube world, you'll probably see that we're drinking something that looks a little different, but it is from Yuli's Brews, our good friends at Yuli's. And this is their Urban Cactus range, which is classic ranch water. It's a tequila lime soda. And I don't know about you, Finley, but I sometimes feel like a beer. Mm-hmm. And there's no greater feeling than cracking open a beer, like doing your lawn or something. Sunset, you've just emptied out the catcher, and you're looking back at your masterpiece and you crack open a beer. That kind of setting is perfect, and Yuli's have got you covered for that one. But sometimes I feel like a Friday night and you're kind of like, I'm going to fucking knock a couple back. I feel like beer can sometimes become pretty tough at like 23
100%.
Or 24 in.
Yeah.
I had a sip of one of these puppies, and these taste like summer in your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And they're so light.
By all accounts, mate, this is the official drink of summer.
Yep.
This is what we're hearing. And, mate, mowing lawns, just finished a surf, whatever the occasion, it'll sort you out. So, yeah, very tasty, very refreshing. So, yeah, that one is getting rolled out now, I think. And, yeah, me and you are enjoying it. It's been nice.
The best part, again, and back to my point about having 24 of these, it's gluten-free, low-calorie, low-carb. There's bugger all sugar in it as well. I feel like a lot of these drinks that are coming out, they taste good, and then you look at the sugar content, you're like, oh my God, it's pretty much a red skin every sip. This has got 0.3 grams of sugar. Mm-hmm. And fat as well, nothing. So, again, most crew like our age are keen to give it a solid nudge, but they are conscious of their health. And this is like the perfect median, I don't know, drink that can get you where you want to be at Friday night at 9 p.m. at the beachy or something without feeling like a complete bag of dicks the next day.
Yeah, obviously drink responsibly, but you could argue you're actually healthier after drinking one of these.
I think so. I feel like the FDA might not approve of that, but we're going to run it anyway. Drink a couple of these things and you'll feel sensational.
Absolutely. But yeah, again, thanks to Yuli's. And you've also got another shout out, an event going on.
Yes. Yep. Big event this weekend hosted by Avoca Board Riders. It's the 2025 Pacific Highway Cup. I love that name. Yep. I don't know about you, but whenever you're road tripping around eastern side of Australia, you're pretty much on the Pacific Highway for most of it. The best part about this comp, it's going to bring all the board riders together. And it's the second biggest board riders event in Australia behind the ABB National Final.
Wow.
I think there's 28 clubs or something like that by the sounds of it. Guess what the winner gets?
What?
A legit truck wheel. I think they found it on the highway.
You just get a wheel.
Like a rim.
Right.
A big, heavy rim.
With first place written on it or something. Amazing.
They literally found it on the side of the road. Fucking sensational.
That's unreal. So who's involved in that? Who's the invitees?
So Avoca Board Riders are running it,
mm-hmm.
and it's the inaugural event, so first time that this one's coming around. It's going to be at Avoca this weekend, which will be the 12th and 13th of July. It's supported by Billabong and Channel Islands, and there's going to be a bunch of goodies getting given away, and no doubt there will be a fairly large celebration afterwards for the crew that are going to that one. So if you are in and around those areas, I would be getting down to that this weekend.
Absolutely. You heading down, or are you going to be? You tied up?
No. I'm actually, after my involvement in the Ockigrom and the Soundbox Osgrom Open, I'm probably going to go to the mountains.
Yeah.
And just, one of those ads that you see, and it's just like not an ad, but like a YouTube video of like monks just like being quiet up in the mountains. I feel like that's going to be me this weekend.
You need it, mate. Yeah, you really do. Been a couple of huge weeks for you, and it's also been a couple of huge weeks of surf events, which kind of creep
all
up
happening.
on us. Yeah,
If you're 12 to 112 like Slater, there's something for everyone.
Seriously. Obviously, like the local comps we've had here, but then obviously had Rio wrap up, then Boleto was sort of happening at a similar time, and then we're just about to head into what I consider probably the best event on the schedule, if not top sort of 2 or 3. We'll be heading into J-Bay soon, so we'll be covering all of that. But first, we'll do a little social plug again because we always miss that.
Correct.
It's still growing, the Instagram. We've just surpassed like sort of 2,500. So thank you to everyone that's already followed us. If you haven't, would really appreciate it if you can. And also on our sort of YouTube and TikTok, you can find us just at the Largo Podcast. That's our sort of handle for everything. But yeah, thank you to everyone that already has, and would love it if you could show a bit of love as well if you haven't.
For sure.
So, we'll move into Ballito first up though. So that event just wrapped up the other day. Finalists were Luke Thompson and George Pittar on the men's side, and then on the ladies' side we had Nadia Aristabe and Yolanda Hopkins. Luke Thompson, really good read on this wave here in Boleto, secures himself a wildcard into the J-Bay event through winning this too. He previously got a wildcard in 2022 when he was, I think, around 18, and he got some really good scores. So I think he's probably an all right shout to take some names in this year's J-Bay event. He's filled out a bit, and I think he'll be a threat. GP as well, he got runner up. He was looking really classy. Love watching how quick in transition he is, in and out of the lip. How much of the final did you see? Did you watch much of it?
I watched the replay, yeah.
Yeah. He's so fast. It was a bit of a lackluster final though.
It was slow.
It was tough because obviously we had that both these guys were dropping really big scores all the way through, and then just the final, neither of them broke 10 points.
What did you think of the score about the barrel?
Luke's barrel,
followed by a floater of some sort,
yeah.
and obviously looked like a little bit of a giraffe on roller skates coming out of that. But it was a tough wave to.
It was.
There was nothing against his ability. But did you see the points in that barrel? I feel like for the day, yeah. But man, it was. I don't know.
I did, mate. Look, I think it was definitely probably the best wave if he landed that turn, 100%. It was the best wave in that final. He still read it quite well, got pretty covered, and then came out and obviously fell. But I think the score they gave it was fair. I think really for GP, we had a couple of listeners sort of asking, did he get robbed? And I don't think he did. I don't think you can be robbed with a sub 10 heat total. I just don't. To win an event with 9 points is sort of unheard of. And I think GP had surfed amazingly right throughout the event. He was ripping, and probably coming into the final, I sort of didn't see him really being beaten. But look, especially on his first wave, he took off, did a nice turn, and then kind of did a little kick stall for a tube, didn't quite get covered, and then finished off with like a little Larry or something in the foam. But I feel like if he had his time again, he would have cracked that second section rather than actually sort of trying to slow down. That probably was essentially where the final was won and lost, because he lost by decimals. It wasn't points. So if he got another turn in there, I think he would have really just stamped his authority early and probably run away with it.
Speaking of robberies, there was one more that was highlighted to us, which was Lob against Jorgen. Did you catch that one?
Yeah, I did. I didn't have a super strong opinion on it. Do you have more of a...
Well, obviously, a fair few people were mentioning lob rob. I saw that, so I was like, well, this is something we need to talk about on the potty. So I did my homework.
Nice.
But when I saw like the comments saying lob robbed, I was immediately biased, and I was like, before even looking, I was like, yeah, Lobby's robbed here. Like I didn't even know who was versing at the time. I was like, I don't care. Yeah, I bet you he's been robbed. So I watched that final with biased eyes, I would say, and it's hard for me to say, but I just don't think he was. Was the scoring a little skew-if? Yeah, for sure. But I feel like the outcome was right.
Yeah.
Lob just, in my opinion, wasn't displaying that powerhouse surfing that he usually does. Nonetheless, like, his variety was insane.
Yeah.
He had variety over Jorgen any day of the week. But I feel like when Jorgen did those turns, it was just like another level of power. The only problem for Jorgen was he didn't put anything together. It was so disjointed, but when he did click, it was like a lot more spray, and it just felt a little more impactful than what Lob was doing. Lob was doing really nice surfing, but there wasn't that one moment where it was just like that turn had, I don't know, it kind of blended.
Yeah.
The whole wave blended.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for like a boom.
Yeah.
Beautiful surfing nonetheless, and I feel like it was Lobby's to win because Jorgen, like I said, looked like he was having a bit of a Barry Crocker. Mm-hmm. But when he did stick those turns, they were bigger.
And especially on the QS too, like oftentimes, like Parker had it throughout his career, not that it was on the QS for much of it, but like oftentimes his surfing was like too perfect and too pretty, and probably in some cases hindered him a little bit with his scores because he made it look too easy. Mm-hmm. And on the QS, when the waves are difficult, if you're making your turns look sort of harder than maybe they really are, and in this case, Jorgen was probably doing that. He was smacking the lip really hard, but just it wasn't as nice to look at, but very impactful, as you said. So and with Lob, he's so smooth and really linky, but then with that sort of, you kind of lose that sort of wow aspect. You're almost just looking at it like, oh, that's really nice surfing, but there's no impact there, I guess, as you said.
Yeah, it just looked like that. It was kind of lacking conviction throughout those waves.
Yep.
And it's funny you say that. I think Ethan sometimes slides into that. Yago
100%.
slides into that. When they're so polished that people are kind of going, well, where's that like explosiveness like an Italo? Mm-hmm. I feel like Italo sometimes loses that polishedness and goes full cat on a hot tin roof at times.
Yeah.
Or as Kelly Slater calls him, video game surfer.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, like I was rooting for Lobby, and I was bummed that he didn't make that heat, and he was surfing really nicely, but I felt like the judges were clearly demonstrating when Jorgen got that big layback, they were throwing it at him saying, look, that was a big turn, threw a bunch more spray. That's what they're looking for.
Yep.
It was just hard because they had to kind of pay it, and it was kind of bit hard to watch surfing.
Yeah, and like,
from Jorgen.
We're like Lob fans. Like we're not here to like sort of shit on Lob, but it's just like, put it this way, I've seen heats where people have been far more robbed, and it's more visible. This one I was like, look, maybe Lob won, maybe he didn't, but I can see where the judges were going, at least with the scores, and to me it wasn't like, it wasn't sort of black and white Lob should have won that heat, you know.
If he was surfing like Burley, I feel like he had so much conviction at Burley.
Yeah.
This one, we've already talked about it, but yeah, looked like a ballerina, and it was beautiful to watch, but maybe lacked that conviction.
Yeah, and sort of we'll move from that now into sort of just a couple of disappointments. Not that Lob was disappointing because he registered another really good result here, so he's put himself right up in the rankings, which we'll sort of run through in a second. Couple of guys I thought probably they weren't disappointing, but they'd be disappointed with their result. Firstly, Alistair Reginardo lost in the very first round. He had an interference, and he's a guy, given that forecast, I think he could have done really well in the event. Super powerful, sort of like almost sort of Morgs-esque, or like a blend of like Morgan and like Pitar, where he's like really good on rail and really powerful, but also has probably a better air game than both those guys. So he's a guy that I thought maybe could have gone quite deep into the draw. He'd be spewing over that result. Another guy, the guy I just mentioned, Morgan, he lost in his first round, albeit that was a round later. He gets seeded straight into the second round. He would have been looking to get some revenge after copping that interference in Nui, and this wasn't a great result for him. In saying that, though, plenty more events to come for these guys, so no stress just yet. Kira Pinkerton, though, on the ladies' side, she would have been counting this one. Obviously, she's one of the better seeds in the event. She'd be looking to sort of break beyond the quarterfinals here, and lost first round with an interference. Now, we had a lot of people in our DMs quizzing us on this also. In my opinion, it's an interference all day. I don't know about you.
I believe she thought she had priority because the way in which she was paddling, showed me that that's intention to use that wave, regardless of the competitor being right next to you. There's no way she didn't know that Blue was right next to her.
For sure.
And there was an opportunity where she looks at Blue, and there was an opportunity to stop paddling and allow right of way. There's two things what could have happened in this one. I think she's either thought that Blue was not going to get it and still went for it and hoped that they didn't kind of meet in the middle. Or she genuinely thought she had priority. But yes, I agree. Interference all day long.
I'm going to go with... I actually think, judging by her reaction after the call was made, she looked very frustrated. She was splashing water. I just genuinely think she thought it wasn't an interference. She knew she didn't have priority, and she just thought she was in an okay spot there. But yeah, as I said before, it's an interference all day. You can see on the clip, Blue probably isn't going to catch the wave from where she's positioned. But the thing is, when you've got priority, you've got to have unrestricted right away over the entire lineup. If Red, which was Kira in this situation, if she gets in any position to disrupt her, that's an interference. And although Blue probably was going to miss the wave, where Kira had positioned herself, stopped Blue from essentially getting closer to the whitewash, where she potentially could have actually caught the wave. So
you have to give them an opportunity to miss the wave.
Absolutely, yeah. And she basically took that away from her. So look, I definitely not your textbook interference. We look at paddling interference. Mind you,
which is worse
for sure.
It's a higher punishment.
Well, it's just you get a priority interference essentially. So it's the same punishment as a normal priority interference, but it just is way worse because you didn't even drop in on someone. You just got in their way. Different to Vaheen from earlier in the year, where Vaheen physically blocked Betty Lou from catching the wave. This one was Kira just was close to her, but even that close is too close. And I
think she tested the waters and got burned.
100%, yeah. And as Snaketails would say, not at this level. Like, you can't be doing stuff like that. That's a real bad blunder to make, and she'll be stewing over that one between now and the next event
for sure.
Gordo Kilby, who's a very avid listener of ours. We love Gordo. He asked why they travel so far for such a bad wave. Now, Gordo, I'd love you to go and check out, I think it was 2011, the Mr. Price Pro in Boleto.
Mr. Price?
The Mr. Price Pro.
Who is Mr. Price?
I don't know. It was the sponsor of the event back then. It looks like sort of, I won't say Kira because that's a bit of a stretch, but this wave turns on its day, and admittedly, we haven't seen probably conditions like that since. But it was the year that John Florence was there, and he was getting super coned. And Gordo, go and check the highlights out from that event, because if you see that, you'll sort of understand why this wave qualifies as a stop for the Challenge Series tour. But
have you done your fact checking here? Have you seen if there's been any other good waves since 2011 to now?
It hasn't, not to that scale. No, there's been fun days, but it hasn't been that pumping.
So I've just done a quick Google search.
Here we go.
It is a retail company called Mr. Price Group.
Okay.
So there was no figure there actually called Mr. Price.
No, it's just
that's kind of, I was hoping there's a cool story behind it, but that's, it's just a brand.
I think potentially you may have been the only person that thought there was a person there called Mr. Price that had named the event after him.
I thought it'd be like some political thing, like, I'm going to fund it.
Right.
I haven't done anything good in my life to get a statue down the main street, sure, but I'm going to just sponsor something so I can get my name on something.
Righto. And the other thing as well, which was raised to us by a couple of people in our DMs, no Julian Wilson. We looked into this.
Mate, this is a tough question to get an answer for.
We couldn't really find one. And
we have a theory.
We have theories, we have concepts, we have potential answers, but none of which...
We need to get a GoPro in his letterbox.
We're not... none of which are rock solid enough for us to
I think theory one is pretty solid, maybe.
Would you put that on air, though, as a reason?
Oh, yeah. It's a theory. It's a hypothesis. How many scientific hypotheses have been wrong?
Zach's going to run through this hypothesis and take it with a grain of salt, because there's every chance this isn't true. But
like everything we talk about on here, we don't have, what's his name?
This has got even less backing, though, than most of the stuff we talk about. So
I don't know. I think there's some, but what's old mate's name on Joe Rogan, who's in the background.
Jamie.
We don't have Jamie.
No.
We are hiring for a Jamie, but anyway. So we believe that Julian was awarded 4 wildcards into the Challenger Series
Right. I don't know this.
from WSL.
I thought he had the full season.
I think it was 4 wildcards.
Okay.
There's obviously more than 4 events.
Yes, there's
So
7.
now he's probably gone through the calendar and gone, don't want to go there, don't want to go there, want to go there, want to go there, want to go there, or I could go well there, I could go well there.
Sure.
So he hasn't pulled the trigger on utilising one of his spots at this event. That's theory 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's not like we're unearthing aliens.
No, but I just don't know how true that is. But
we don't have the truth anyway, so I feel like we can just make it the truth. You heard it here live first. He just doesn't like South Africa.
We've given you an answer. It may not be the right answer, but that's what we're going to run with for now.
I thought that's pretty credible. Like, it's not like we're saying he's fucking on a yoga retreat.
No, and yeah, we're not sort of smirching his character at all, but it's just like it's like a.
To be honest, if that was my scenario, I probably wouldn't have gone to Boleto.
Oh, if that is the reason, then it makes 100% sense. He's got one at his hometown, Newcastle, which he's already used. He's got Pipe, which he'll definitely be using one at. He's got another one at Newcastle at the end of the year, and there's I don't know what the other ones are, but
I'm confused. Is that this year?
Yeah, it's this year. It's this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on this same tour. But anyway,
He's not there.
Don't bet your life on that because it's probably wrong. We'll go through a little ranking snapshot now. So currently on the ladies and the men's tour, these are the people that are in qualifying positions. So first place, Francisca Veselko. Second place, Sally Fitzgibbons. Third place, Yolanda Hopkins. Fourth place, Nadia Aristabe. Fifth place, Tia Zabrowski. Good. Sixth place, Teresa Bonvalot.
Why did you say good?
Because
no one else is?
She should be there.
So what are you saying? Tell the people what you really want to say.
I don't think the other people should be there.
Oh, God.
Tia Zabrowski, 5th. Teresa Bonvalot, 6th. Laura Raup, 7th. Men's.
Can I just say one thing?
Go on.
I'm going to go on air. $10. $10. That does not look the same at the end of the year.
Yeah, I'd love to believe you. I just don't know, Zach, because
there's no way Sally Fitz wins 2 years in a row and then falls off again.
Yolanda and Nadia. Well, Nadia with an event win now, which is huge.
Mikey didn't qualify.
Yes, but
Geordie Lawler didn't qualify, but there is less, and
you're forgetting Yolanda as well. Already had a really good result, which we did talk about at Newcastle, which maybe she shouldn't have had, but she does have. So she's got 2 good results already, and at third, she's looking quite good. Men's side though, Jacob Wilcox.
Oh, I fucking love that. That can stay every day of the week,
and it did. It retains his first place spot. Mm-hmm. Luke Thompson, 43 spot improvement. He goes up into second place with his win there at Boleto.
Do you think it's the there seems to be something going on in surfing with frosted tips or bleached hair? Kanoa. It's all over the QS. He's got it. Loki Cullen just won a comp and he's got frosted tips. Are we getting frosted tips?
No. Or you can.
No, I'm good.
I've got pretty blonde hair. I don't really need frosted tips. I kind of already have frosted tips. I don't know if that's the reason why people are winning, Zach. If I had to guess, probably not.
Italo?
Yeah. Okay.
Who do you think would look the best with like that bleached yellow almost hair on tour?
Miggy Pupo. With those jaws as well, with the chompers. He'd look like a early 2000 like 90s rap icon or that, yeah. But I was thinking more like a Vanilla Ice, you know what I mean? Like
Connor would look pretty fucking wild.
Connor would look skits. He'd look like Big Z. You know how Big Z has like just like a big guy with the frosted tips.
Connor will look like an emperor penguin. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Connor would look like Big Z.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
But anyway, second place, Luke Thompson. Third place, George Pittar, up 19 spots into third. Fourth place, Maddie McGillivray, just hanging in there. 5th place, Cali Vars. 6th, Lobby, moves himself up 7 spots. Well ingrained in the top 10 now. Oscar Berry, great result here for him.
Love that. On your Oscar. Well done, mate.
On your Oscar. 11 spot improvement. 8th spot, Jorgen Krusenet. I don't know how to say it.
Did well.
Did well.
Do you know the rule with not knowing how to pronounce something?
What?
I've learnt this in the commentary world and the broadcast world. Say it fast and say it with conviction, and no one else will really know except for the bloke or the woman that you said. But everyone else on the beach will go, wow, they nailed that. So you did it. Well done.
Okay. 9th place, Arkell, still in there, and in 10th, Winter Vincent. So
that's a good Aussie.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Aussies in the top 10 right now.
Great. That's fantastic. I really want that to stay
because
I think, honestly, I'm going to get lit on fire for this. We have the hardest region by a country mile, and we honestly should be able to have more access to the CS than other regions. Kill me, I said it. But so to see 6 out of the 10 up there, it makes me happy.
Makes sense too. Runs pretty deep.
There's no way you can say that like the European tour is as hard as Australians.
No, it's not. There's no, but they do make it out. Like, I think we do have maybe a couple extra spots in Europe, but we have just the talent pool over here runs so deep.
All of it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Our QS has started round of 144.
Yeah, and everyone, like, you sort of make a heat. And
someone like Billy Stammen's in there, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like a round 1 heat, 144 is like, you're not walking in there going, I've got this thing under wraps. It's like, oh, God, I'm going to have to fight for my dinner here.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, that's your ranking snapshot. So that will vary. We're only 2 events in, so there will be massive changes there, I imagine. But yeah, Aussie contingent looking very good. We'll move now on to J-Bay. Zach, the forecast is looking nuts for this event. So
I just had a look before, though. It's looking good, but I don't think nuts.
I'm hearing nuts. I'm hearing very good conditions.
It's not going to be bigger than 6 foot.
Yeah, but what are you using?
Surf line.
Surf lies.
Surf line?
Yeah, they lie. They're not. It's not. I don't trust Surfline at all. I'm sorry.
I was going to ask him to be a sponsor of the pod, but not anymore.
I just don't.
I fucking hope they're correct because I'm on Surfline every day at the moment because I'm going to Indo in like 2 weeks and it's looking fantastic. So if it's lying, oh mate, I'm going to fly to.
This time of year in Indo,
somewhere.
I feel like you just rock up and there's waves. So
it's
I
looking
think you'll be
so primo. I'm so excited. Got a half chub right now thinking about it.
But yeah, don't listen to Zach because from all accounts, everyone's saying it's going to be firing. So
no, they're saying it's good. I just don't think it's going to be like was it last year when Ethan Matty final? Was that last year?
Ethan Matty
McGilvery.
I don't think that was ever a thing.
Ethan and Matty. Yeah, it was huge.
Just hold it there. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to come back.
Jamie, where is Jamie? I'm pretty sure that was last year.
I've got a round of 16 heat here with Ethan and Matt.
Oh, no. I promise I surf.
I'm going to leave. I'm leaving that in because that's hilarious. Yeah, 20.
What's the year?
2022, Ethan beat Jack in the final.
Who got
and
in the semis?
They were going blow for blow.
Who was in the semis?
Ethan beat Yago and Robbo beat Kanoa.
Maybe I dreamt it. Oh, God.
Anyway, that was...
Oh, no.
That never happened. But anyway, we'll move on from that.
It's a good dream.
Riveting viewing. We put it on the socials, basically give us your talking points for J-Bay, and we were hit with some questions and statements for the upcoming event. Trav Davies, Goofies and Turns will win J-Bay.
I think Trav Davies, hello, thank you for listening. He's he's helped me out a lot when I was younger on a mission team manager and dead set legend. That's not a bad call because I was going to go into this when we go through our fantasy teams. Squaring up on your backhand when it's 8 foot there looks so good. It looks fantastic, and I'll go through who I think can do that this event. So I'm right there with you, Trav. I think that is a good call. That can happen for sure.
I think he's right with Turns will win J-Bay. I don't think there's going to be heaps of airs going down this year. Maybe Yago will be
Yeah,
throwing down
but
a
I
couple.
did see that the wind looks devilish at times, which
Okay.
is alley-oop central.
Yeah.
And your boyfriend will do 4 this year.
I don't know if a Goofy will win though, Trav. I feel like it's just too much depth in the natural footed department in these types of waves. I just feel like they'll be too good. But anyway, we'll go to the next one. Going upside down is
That's a goofy term.
this is actually the handle of the next person, but yeah, it is a goofy term. Will the man in the grey suit win J-Bay?
Under priority.
Under priority, he also said.
That's a silly question.
Look, hopefully not. Hopefully we don't have another.
Does lightning strike twice?
No. I'd love to think it doesn't.
Can
anyway.
strike a millimetre away though.
Well, no, there's every chance they could. Like, there's no shortage of large fish over there, so there's every chance we could get an appearance, but let's hope not. Hey, Jake Owen.
I actually watched that heat and I got fucking goosebumps.
It was crazy, hey?
And I didn't get goosebumps from like the whole kicking and splashing part. It was like listening to Jules break down and then listening to Mick break down. I was like almost breaking down myself.
Yeah, it was crazy. Jake Owen, overs/unders on Joe Turpel, bringing up Philippe's double loop 10.
I've read this question 15 times and I'm going to need you to translate it for
So
me.
what he means thereby is basically pick a number of times that Joe Turpel's going to say.
Oh, it's like one of those games you drink when someone says that.
No, you just go say like the over under is 5, and then you pick either over or under that amount.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna set it. I'm gonna set it at 5.
Well,
I
I'm
feel like
gonna
that's a good amount.
3.
You think it'll be under? I'll set it at 4, and I'm gonna go over.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say it's probably like 5, around 5 mentions of it. But maybe we can do a.
I feel like if it's 6 to 8 foot reeling down the line, it would be like 1 or 2. But if it's like similar conditions, like they're going to throw that thing at least 15 times.
I'm gonna have to watch the entire every second of every part of that event to figure this one out. But I'll try my best. A number of listeners asked something along the lines of, "Is Geordie going to keep the ball rolling?" And
I'll
then there's
answer
a
that
second-
in my fantasy team run through.
Okay. Similar to that, I don't think he'll win the event this year, even though the forecast is really good. The second part of that question, though, is how much of a threat is Ethan? And I think he is. I think
He is the threat.
He's the threat. He's not he is the guy to beat here.
It's not like a maybe. It's almost like he should be seeded into the quarters.
Yeah, he's pretty well as the guy to beat, apart from one other guy that you've already grilled me on, but we'll get there. And
Boyfriend,
Lennox Smith, and you can comment on this as much as you want, Zach. Can we talk about what Zach used to get up to on the QS?
Leno, I'll tell you around the campfire soon, my friend.
Teach him
That's
the
a
ways.
campfire chat.
All right, so that's a no there. We'll move now on to our winners and dark horses for this event. Zach, do you want to start us off with your winners?
My winner for this event is Iago Dora. Mr. Dora. I feel like he's just got this intrinsic fire burning right now. Do you know what I mean? It just feels like a different Iago.
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying I feel like on this podcast. I really got to cut that out. Can you edit that?
You're feeling it.
Iago just looks like a different Iago this year. Looks like he's got that desire to really win, not just be there.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are happy just to be there. Fuck, to be honest, I would.
Yep.
Get paid good money, get to travel around the world and whatnot. Yep. And I feel like he's been in that ballpark, I'll call it, putting out free surfer clips and just having fun. Yep. But now I feel like he wakes up in the morning and goes, you know what? I haven't been dawdling, but like I've had my fun. This has been epic. And retirement is, I'm not saying it's on the cards, but these guys are thinking that long term. Like they've got goals. Like Jules had the 4-year goal or a 5-year goal, wherever it was. They've all got that.
Yep.
And I feel like one day this year, he just woke up and went, if my time is, like, if I ever had a time, it's going to be this year.
For sure.
And I think Iago is the man to do it. I feel like he could go, this could be Iago's year.
Yep. So you're going him for the win?
I'm going him for the win.
All right. Women's winner.
Gabby Bryant.
Okay.
I feel like if that's not times 2, you've got cotton wool over your eyes. There's no better way for Gabby Bryant's style of surfing than J-Bay if it's 4 foot.
Yep. Sure. That's it?
Yeah, I feel like you want to crucify me for saying that. Yep, sure.
No.
No worries.
I can't really. I do think she's the strongest surfer on tour, and I think the judges will reward her.
And you know why? If there is devil wind, she's going to be one of the only people to navigate that.
She'll just be pushing through it,
just fucking motoring over it.
Yeah. No, I can't say no to that because she's proven this year that she just can sort of win anywhere, and a wave like J-Bay on her forehand is going to be somewhere where she can do a lot of damage. I'll go into mine though. My winner on the men's side, Felipe Toledo. Picked him a few times this year. I'm going to pick him again.
Whenever we have this document and I see Felipe, it's like Christmas when I was 14 and getting Lynx Africa fucking body shave again.
Right.
Just like, and then you got to sit here and smile.
Okay, well, look, I don't think you can argue with these numbers.
Hit me with the numbers. I am an analytic man, so hit me. I nearly said I am an analyst, and I went, no, I'm not.
I think we've figured out throughout this how analytical you are. The listeners can have their say on that. We'll leave it to them.
I'm good with numbers.
So 2023 was the last time this event ran. So 2 years ago, 15.27 was his lowest heat total for the entire event. That's the lowest heat total. He's won 3 of the last 5 events here.
But you're not talking about the same Felipe.
He
had a year off. He had the sabbatical. He got into smoking meat. He got into sitting on the lounge and just enjoying the fruits of life. He's no longer the same. He is gone.
He's not gone.
He's half asleep.
We said, but like, you would have said this same thing to me at Burleigh when I picked him, and he wiped the floor with everyone there. So just sit this one out.
If there was a time to wipe the floor with everyone, it's Burleigh, because it's not that good of a wave. Anyone could fucking blitz it.
No, they couldn't, because he smoked everyone. So he's blitzed it, and this is another event where I feel like he's going to blitz everyone. As much as I do really respect Ethan's chances as a contender here, and I do worry that, well, don't worry because I'd be stoked if Ethan won, but he's probably the biggest threat for mine. But I think Philippe's just going to just do it again. And then my ladies champ here is going to be Katie Simmers. Forecast looking like pumping J-Bay. You've already brought up Gabby, who I tossed and turned between her and Katie, but I've ended up on Katie based on this forecast is looking good. She's, or not even probably, she is the best at going between turns and barrels seamlessly. She's able to ride a long wave, and that's easier said than done. It's a tough skill to, especially on a wall like J-Bay where you kind of got to be in front of it and be matching the pace of that wave so you don't get left behind, to be still turning and then stalling at the right times. I think she's going to be probably the only girl on tour that's going to be able to do that right the way through the point, and I think that's going to be a massive advantage for her.
That I can agree with, Finley. Well done. You've nailed that. I think you're bang on the money there.
Thanks, Zach. Yeah, I just think she's...
That's the most sincere thanks, Zach, I think I've ever heard.
She's just going to be able to get pitted and do turns seamlessly, which I think is just such a massive advantage there. Mm-hmm. Someone like Gabby, very raw and powerful, but probably doesn't have the tube riding skills that Katie has. Mm-hmm. And I think that'll balance out, and I think Katie will come out on top. Move on now to our dark horses. Zach, who are your dark horses?
O'Leary.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He has proven himself at this establishment. Those thunder thighs that we've spoken about previously, if it's 6 to 8 foot and a little bit cross off, it's going to be super difficult to navigate, and he can do that with his eyes closed.
Yeah. And we've shown that he can do it when he beat John out here the other year in pumping conditions. And
was that the year I was thinking about?
Maybe you were thinking of John and Connor?
Yeah, I don't know. I remember that being like a pivotal moment for
of your
Connor's
life?
backhand, just going, holy shit. Yep. Some of the biggest backhand turns ever done there.
Yeah. And he smoked
Ever
John.
since then, I will never erase that from my memory, and I've probably always going to put him in my fantasy for this event.
100%.
Which is weird to say for a goofy foot. I usually pair goofies with lefts, even though there is dismal lefts, and natural footers with rights. This is where I break that.
He bucks the trend here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your lady?
Betty. if Betty can surf like that Trestles final, I feel like she could do some damage to the field.
Yeah.
There were some big turns. Oh, the waves are different, yes, I get it. But they were really big turns. And if she can mimic that kind of style of surfing, I feel like she could really cause some upsets here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Can't argue with that either. My dark horse is Jake Marshall. I think you can call him a dark horse. I don't think he's really...
No, you can call him a dark horse.
Yeah.
I almost threw him in, but I watched one of those like free surf things on YouTube. And it looked like he was struggling to determine when to slow down and when to go.
Yeah.
J-Bay looks like a prick of a wave for that at times, and that was why I didn't throw him in.
Yeah, no, I just think he's so smooth. He's clinical on a wave like this. Once he's had a few free surfs there and he gets into the main event, I think he'll be flying, and I'm backing him in for a big result in terms of like a dark horse pick. Do I think he can win the event? Maybe, but obviously there's guys far in front of him. But yeah, I think Jake can really stomp down a really good result here. My ladies pick for the dark horse is Izzy Nichols. Showed at Bells that she can turn with the best of them. She's got a really nice frontside wrap on her and like quite stylish as well. And still, I watched probably the same clip as you did on YouTube and watching people free surf for this event. She was looking really good. So happy to throw her in there. Now, before we move on to our fantasy teams, we got asked, this was sort of throwing it back to the Geordie question. You might notice neither of us picked Geordie. I can't speak for Zach here because we haven't talked about this. The reason I'm not picking Geordie here is purely out of spite, and that is because I haven't picked Geordie all year. Now, the most obvious event for me to pick Geordie at would be J-Bay. It's his home. He's won the event multiple times. I'm pretty sure he's won multiple times. No, he has. He's won at least
out
two.
of Melling.
He beat Melling.
Robbery. It wasn't.
So, like, I'm not putting him in because I know if I pick him at the most obvious event, he will lose in the elimination round and it'll just ruin me even more. So I'm just sticking to my guns here and I'm just going away from the field. I know everyone's going to have Ethan Ewing and they're going to have Geordie Smith in their tier A. So I'm not doing it. What's your reason?
I feel like he has the world's expectations on his shoulders. He's wearing the yellow jersey. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He absolutely is.
At his hometown wave.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. That's the weight of the world on your shoulders. And if anyone could do it, really, it would be him. He's a veteran of the tour. Him and Slater probably yawn at situations like this. But I just feel like when you've got that many eyes looking at you to expect to win the thing, it gets tough.
For sure. Yep. No, slightly different reasons there, but a similar outcome.
And to be honest, in Rio, he looked pretty doggers.
Yeah. Different wave entirely. But, I mean, look, the four guys are pumping. He is so bloody good, and he does this every single time, picking the right waves at J-Bay. And it's like, it's beyond the point now where it's luck. It's just purely, you can nail it down to local knowledge. And it is so evident when you're watching him surf there. He's always on the best waves. And you're like, oh, like he's outrunning it, and then like he'll race down a section and then the thing will just open up for him, whereas other guys will like be racing the whole time and chasing it. And he just has so much extra time to place his turns than everyone else. And he just knows exactly when and when not to turn. I think there's every chance he bloody does go and win the event, but I'm not picking him because he's basically ruined my fantasy season. And I'm not, but I mean, I can only blame myself, but I'm not picking him. That's it.
Would you say that to his face?
No.
He's also been seen, this is true, sprinkling sea urchins all over the rocks, and he has a little map where he knows that they're not.
You can't just say this is true when it's clearly not true.
It's true.
Who's in your fantasy team?
Okay, you want me to start off with the women's?
Start off with your ladies.
Okay, so Gabby Bryant's going to win. I've put the electric EV charging against her name. Tier B, Caroline Marks, Betty Lou.
Okay.
Caroline's powerhouse as well.
Yep.
Tier C, I feel good about this one, and I almost picked her as the dark horse. It's Lakey Peterson. She's making the charge from the back, and watching her in that free surf clip, she looked pretty good. You've got your finger up like you want to, I don't know, do something.
I've got a question.
Oh, it's a question. I thought you were going to put it in my butt or something.
No, Zach, it's a question for you. So the way you phrased that was like, I've picked Lakey Peterson from a huge list of people.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'd just like to run through the other options that you could have picked there. You could have picked Sarah Baum, or Francisca Veselko. Now,
So I've picked the same person as 38,000 people.
No, I don't know how many people on the app, but there's probably 10% that maybe went, I'll try something different here. Lakey Peterson's actually the reigning champion in this event. She actually won in 2023.
There you go.
So you're not breaking any new territory
Fuck,
there.
I thought I was on to something special.
No, you're not. But anyway,
Hit me with your ladies.
okay. So Katie times 2, obviously. Izzy Nichols, Erin Brooks in the tier B. I think Erin, I'm going to stick with Erin this year. I've stuck with her
She
all
might
year.
blow off the back of a wave, but go for
You
it.
said that at Margie's, and she didn't.
She didn't particularly go too well
She
either.
didn't go great, but I think she's fast enough to keep up with these waves and get down the line. And then, as the other 300,000 people that do this fantasy picking, Lakey Peterson.
Oh.
Yeah. Men's. Who's your men's team?
Yago Dora.
Yep.
Dora the Explorer with ×2 EV charging.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan Ewing.
Yep.
I went pretty, stock standard. It's just too hard not to.
Yep.
It really is. TB, Conor O'Leary. He was the first one I picked out of this big bunch of people to pick.
Yep.
This one is a full dark horse. And will he win? Probably not. Will he make a few heats? I hope so, because he's in there. Al Cleland.
Right. Yeah.
That's just the roughie. You got to throw a roughie in there. $100 on the nose on a roughie.
$100 on him.
I went Cole Houshman.
Yeah. No.
Houshie.
Don't hate it.
Similar to the reasons to Conor O'Leary. Sorry, Leo. He's got the highest average heat total of the year, so I feel like
Throw
put
him
my
in.
analytical hat on.
Yep.
That makes perfect sense. Tier C, Matt McGillivray, and I went Luke Thompson.
Nice.
There has been major upsets with wildcards this year, so I thought I'm throwing in a wildcard.
Beautiful. No, that's good. And the tier C section generally is a bit of a basket case. You're just trying to pick from a bunch of crew that are maybe out of form, or I mean, this time of year not so much because they've cut the tour, so everyone's pretty formed out. But yeah, I've gone a couple sort of different selections there. I've gone so tier A, Ethan and Italo. I think they speak for themselves, really. Similar to your Yago pick, I just wanted a bit of a point of difference there. And I think Italo can really get a good result here. Spitefully leaving Geordie out, by the way. Philippe ×2 in my tier B. Jake Marshall, also in there. Crosby, Colapinto, and Jack Robinson. And then my tier C is Rio and Matthew McGillivray. That's what I'm thinking.
I like it.
You like it? Thanks, Zach.
All the names you ratted off just then, I've considered heavily.
Yeah. I think you've gone the play of maybe steering clear of the pack, and it could work for you. It also could bite you in the bum. But I've gone for pretty much...
The first one who's getting the axe is Al, but I'm actually have more confidence in Luke Thompson over Al, but I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, no, beautiful. But yeah, that's pretty much... Oh, actually, no. Should we finish? We didn't do it off the top. Should we finish with your surfer of the week? Because we didn't actually do it to begin the episode, but let's throw it in
I saw
now.
you cut that
Sorry.
part out. You were too antsy to get to Ballito.
I was.
Yeah, surfer of the week this week, and although he was not the surfer of the week based upon his efforts in Boleto, although that was a good result,
Not a bad effort, mind you.
Lobby, Mr. Liam O'Brien just dropped a nice clip on Stab, which displays surfing that in waves of major consequence, which I don't think everyone's putting him at the forefront of that type of surfing.
Lob is an undercover lunatic. He's insane.
Yep. And if you don't believe us, get on to Stab. It's probably on Stab Premium, so open up your wallets, you stingy bastards, and watch that clip. At the end, he is pulling into some major cones, and the thing that I instantly go, okay, that person gets it, is on your backhand if you let go of the rail in a big wave.
Yep.
That tells me you get it.
Yep.
Because I've been in big barrels on my backhand before and my hands are super glued to the fucking board and you're just like, oh, there's no chance I'm letting go.
Yeah.
It's like a safety net.
Yeah.
So when people let go and they play with it, Barron's the best at this. No one better than Barron.
Yeah.
That is a strong indicator of they are comfortable where they are right now. And Lobby was doing it. So, surfer of the week, Liam O'Brien. Well done, my friend.
Well done, Lobby.
Yeah.
With that, though, it's kind of us.
I think that's us. It is dinner time here.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. And like we said at the top, please do jump onto your socials and give us a follow. It does mean a lot to us. We've already been gifted with, sponsors and partners already by just yourselves growing our audience. So it does mean a lot to us. So please continue to do so.
Yeah, and feel free as well on that to always love the DMs. We get a fair few DMs from crew. We love them.
We do.
We always reply as well. Comments as well. Always leave comments if you're thinking something, because A, boost engagement on the post, but also B, we actually like to hear what you think about our calls.
And there's things we miss.
There's things we miss. We're very aware that we're probably not always right, although we like to think we are. But if you disagree or you agree, let us know, because it'll get our videos out more. But we like to sort of have that conversation as well in the comment section. So but anyway, thanks for tuning in once again, and we will see you definitely next Thursday, but I'm also thinking Monday too for a little special drop too.
Spicy one. And we've got a few other conversations coming up in the pipeline, so look out for those. They're going to be interesting.
Stay tuned. Thanks very much.
Adios.